want to say, like, with C-Bay, I know people want a breakthrough, but they have certain people to talk to certain people. Not everybody can reach certain people. Certain people can reach people that can identify with what they've been through, their turmoils or their experiences. That's why they have certain people to reach, like recovering addicts, reach, SA victims. Whatever she's going through, she has to go through therapy. But first, she has to acknowledge that she has a problem. If she doesn't feel like anything's wrong with her, it's just going it's just going to be a continuation of whatever um disdain she has for men, because that's what I was hearing. It's like a man can't really tell her nothing. I feel like a man may have done her wrong, and as a defense mechanism, she try to protect herself from that authoritarian type talk is what she's trying to process it as. I don't feel like she's a bad person. I could just understand in some of her responses that it's some trauma there and that she was hurt. And I feel like she don't take it personal. And I'm not speaking for her. I just feel like when she lash out like that, somebody hurt that girl. And I just
Can I?
want to let you know, C-Bay, aside from like my political platform, like if you ever want to talk to me, like one on one, I can give you my phone number. And I never do, I never give it over TikTok. But for you, I will.
Ali, you came. I heard you.
So with respect to porcelain and her point, right? This is what we doing this because of what society's teaching us. But let me ask you this, my brother Bigger podcast. If I came and smacked you, would you give me understanding, or would you give me a consequence that'll help me understand? Our society has allowed Western world to weaponize us being victims, weaponize our mental health, weaponize us being cripples, weaponize us always giving grace and understanding instead of getting full blunt first shaming, well, redirecting first, correction, shaming, and then the disciplinary actions have to take on the man, woman, and child. And especially to if the man got to get hands put on him when he's acting foul and destroying the family, then the kid got to get it. Or if he's doing something that's hurting the family more than anybody, today's women got no consequences at all. When we bring shaming back, when we bring disciplinary actions back, then the man, woman, and child will come together. Being understanding is is extremely crippling to our people now. We need to have consequences, and you can understand later on why your behind just got whooped. Because when I did something, my pop didn't start out with no understanding because he already gave me some understanding. He wore my behind out. And if I was somewhere else, the neighbors wore my behind out. And
But
when
let
I
me
came
let
out,
me
my
let me
mama,
tell you.
I'm almost
Yeah,
hold on, pause. Let me
I
just
Okay,
want to
I'm
say
sorry.
something on
understand it.
that point.
My mama wore my behind out. If I disrespected his wife, my daddy came home and wore my behind out too. And I did some understanding over what just happened to me. So our black
Yeah,
people was always about consequences. We weren't all on this about grace, because the trauma and understanding and mental health don't apply to brothers. It's only for the sisters to keep doing what they doing. They going to God, they going to therapy, they going to everybody. The sergeant, the professor, their boss, the cat and dog, their kids, they go to everybody to understand them except for the man. He gets no understanding.
That's because the man is not transparent, and we can't just sit up here and make it seem like, okay, we just smack, C base, just beat her down with the truth. That's not how that works. Because some of these youth, they're used to a high volatile situation, and you smack them, they ready to get with you. They ready to escalate the situation to knives and pew pews. They ready to get with you. So we don't want to take that approach because they're already in um very high violent volatile situations. They come from very disruptive dysfunction. And so what I'm saying is you have to know and hear and listen to certain things and say, well, I cannot take that approach. Because if all this person knew was chaos, they're ready for you. It's like fight or flight response with them. And that's what I'm sensing from her. So your response is not going to work for her. She's going to buck every time, is what I'm telling you. You got to
we
know,
got
Come
because
we
she's
my
going to
come to
buck
my
we
every
got to
come
time.
find
She's going to
out.
buck
come to
every
my
time.
come to
Every
my
time she's
You
going
know
to
what?
buck.
Come to
You
my
know what I
city
see
because you
Y'all
still
want
sometimes
me
talk
to be
too?
a
about that.
that I
Hold
get
on.
not being a pacifist, but sometimes
Mm-mm.
you have to show compassion.
This is where
And I'm
everybody take their turns doing the opposite of what they say too. You come to
what,
my
but I'm not
city.
gonna let nobody
Hold
like
on,
book
you said
hurt.
you made
Like,
your point.
no.
I can't. You come to my city. Not only was I am I a part in my community, I worked in mental health for 15 years. Come pull up my records. Come look at the success of all the kids that are in my
So
classroom versus all
you
the
know what I'm
other.
talking
Can I
about
finish?
then.
Can I? No, I don't. Listen, the understanding is the initial part. The what people when the consequences have to be higher than the incentive when the incentive and love don't work. Most of these people already getting love, they're getting support. And I'm talking about after initially what's been happening. It's not working. So we have to re-implement consequences to get people to understand what love is. If you out of control, porcelain, you have to have get hands put on you before you can understand what love is. You ain't trying to like C-Bay.
So
Okay.
do we want her to leave
So,
the platform with
No, this
despondent and
is no
debilitating
I
thoughts,
no
mean,
no
or
I
do
no.
we
wanted
want her
to
to
See,
hold
leave the
on.
this is why
platform?
Hold
sisters
on,
don't
hold
lead,
on,
but
hold
this
on,
is
hold
why
on, hold on,
sisters
hold on, hold on.
Y'all gotta let Porcelain and Ali have. They gotta be able to.
Right.
y'all
And then
want
see
men to
that
be
you can talk
leaders.
next.
We want the
You
brother.
want men to be leaders, but when the men are telling you from their experiences and what they grew up with, what we need to do, you still want to come back and implement what the sisters do when their sisters are being ran over by everybody. Y'all getting run over by your kids don't even respect you. So why you keep trying to tell men what you know what happens? You sit up in the household and I watch the mental health when the man is trying to implement a consequence to his kid. Don't talk to my kid like that. Don't put your hands on my kid. That's my kid. And then when they get older, hey, this dude a deadbeat. He don't want to be a father. He don't want to take care of his kids. Y'all are, it's a lot of women have so much deep envy that they don't even, the man doesn't have to look at his kid. He can control his kid that you don't let the men be fathers and take the leadership positions. Women need to be quiet for a little bit on this time for a while. Just like Coco, I believe said, or one of the sisters said, and let the men fix it and support us instead of taking away from when we're implementing consequences to both the men, women, and the children.
But what I'm saying is, I agree with Coco. She's not processing the information, so it's like beating a dead horse. No, offense to you. What I'm
So
saying is,
so
so why are we going to keep beating a dead horse if she's not
okay.
processing the information?
That's what exactly what we need to do. So if I'm beating women, should I just get love and understanding?
No, you should go to prison because you
Oh,
cognitive
not
of what
oh
you're
no no
doing.
no 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 not so not porcelain.
You're cognitive of what you're
Now
doing.
you want me to go to prison, right? You want hands put on me. You want people to lock me up and lock throw me away. Why we don't lock her away?
But if she's beating somebody, that we're using an extreme to something different. So if that's just like me saying, so if a grown man, as say a 5-year old, what should happen?
Mhm.
What's the ramifications for that? Exactly. To
No
me,
no
it's the unalive
no,
penalty.
my point is that you want to we want to give grace to women nonstop.
It's not.
We don't give
It's no
grace.
grace. Where's
Now
the
look, you see
grace?
what you see you doing. Now you doing what she was doing, right? You loved me about 5 minutes ago. Now you doing to me
No,
what she doing to
I
me, and I.
still love you. We're just having a
But remember this:
disagreement.
I'm letting you land, and you cut me off. Now you
I'm
doing what she
sorry.
was
I'm a
doing
mute.
to me. It's supposed to be all love. My point is when if your kids disrespect you, you want hands put on them. If a man disrespect you, you want hands put on them. Matter of fact, women get men deleted every single day and have men fighting each other over them every single day. But when a sister does something, we leave her alone. We give grace. We give understanding. She got PTSD. She traumatized, but y'all know exactly what y'all doing. She know what she was being disrespectful. It ain't no
Yep.
more. The grace is out of we done graced out. We need to implement consequences and we need to get our people back in order. And if you don't want to be part of it, you get outcasted.
Damn, I gotta agree with Ali on that because men bring order and structure into the home way better. It's just
Yep.
like this is my point. My point
All
is
day.
when a man speaks in the home, the kids do not shake or move. They move and do what he say do. But if the mama do it, they want to play and they want to say no and they want to
Yep.
roll over and all this old extra stuff. But dads don't get that same energy. They make things move. So I
Yes.
agree.
Said sometimes we as women need to be quiet and let the men work it out and listen to
Right.
them.
And to
I'm just not
piggyback off of that,
not
it
even
only
not even
works.
porcelain.
It
I'm
only
not talking
works
to porcelain. I'm just saying in general.
and it mostly time works when the brother, like he just said, brother Ali said, if he as men choose to play that role, or not play the role, but do the role, and put the discipline down verbally before it becomes physical, he needs that female support because I'm gonna tell you, we all know that the kids will play against the parent because one wants to be the friend and one wants to be the parent, and that's not gonna effing work. That's not gonna work. It's gonna cause a major problem. We see that every day on social media. Real situations where the mom has so much control over the child.
Man,
She got the child calling the police on the dad.
hey,
That ain't
hey,
cool.
hey, my brother, we had a topic the other day, right? Women are always talking about kids should have a voice. Kids should like their mom and dad. You know who has the biggest advocate of that? The mama. The mama's support, it will make it if she has if the kid has a so-called voice or if they like their daddy. A lot of times when kids don't like their daddy or listen to their daddy, it's because their mama don't listen to their daddy and their mama don't initiate the powerful fact about the order is the biggest voice. If the mom and daddy are together and know what's going on, the kid's voiced by the mother and father. Now, if you want the color blue, if you want to eat rice instead of spaghetti, we get that kind of choice. But they don't need no kind of voice but what the order is supposed to be in the household.
Yeah, that's horrible, man. I've been there. I've been a stepdad in many situations where, you're trying to be in a young man's life, in regards to what happened to the dad, and you try to put some small discipline and some duties on this young man, and give him some duties like clean your bathroom up and straighten up your bathroom, and when you come in the house, you don't have to mess up a dish, wash the dishes. It's no basic chore. Kids don't even have chores these days. They have choices. I'm gonna do
Brother,
what I want.
first
I
of
got
all.
my own phone.
But
Mm,
I got my
mm,
own debit card. I'm
mm,
just gonna hang out and do what I want to do.
can I
I don't
mm.
get
speak?
it. Yeah.
Be
Oh, go
right.
ahead.
What I see is a lot of kids, they don't have any of these things because the single moms are too busy working. So they don't have any guidance at all. And so the kids don't have any fear. So when you like I was raised by my grandmother to like the fear of God was installed in me. I was raised that, you get certain, she just raised me very strict. They don't even have that type of structure. I see in my profession where kids are fighting cops, fighting nurses, fighting clinicians. They don't care. They don't care. So if you come to them with this soldier, you know, barbaric type of rhetoric, they're
Yeah.
bucking and they don't care. And so what approach do you match with that type of energy? You know? And they're kids, so they're protected by the state. You can lose your license. You can get on the registry if you do the wrong thing, pin them down the wrong way, if you're trying to
You
de-escalate a situation. So what do?
you
All
you
you have
you
is your mouth, right?
you you really like you realize you're talking down your own point. Like it's because they're so enabled and no one can do nothing. That's why they're out of control.
No,
Right.
Like
and
you
I
really
know
you
that. I'm
no
not.
no no listen no no but so you so the way to talk these people down is to give them more love, is to give them more understanding, is to try to be supportive of what they doing. You know who does that typically? The women. When the kids would act up in the schools, they be hugging them, trying to kiss them because they don't want to deal with it. And then when they get too hard, they run away from the kids and want to put it back on the men. When things are out of control, the sisters ain't gonna deal with it, but so long. You know who kicking the kids out their house for the stepdaddy and the boyfriends? The mama. Once she can't
Mm.
control them kids, bye bye, my son. Bye bye, my daughter. For the boyfriend and the stepdaddy mama? Yep. Hey, I ain't got time for y'all no more. Y'all a big headache. The daddy ain't gonna do that. The mama's kicking the kids out. And you know who else letting the boy be the drug dealer in there as well, too, to supporting the family? The mama. So there's no
Yes,
real
sir.
consequences for these kids are buck wild because they didn't these women didn't make sure they was men, uncles, grandfathers. That was a priority in their life. This is the I don't need a man generation, so they know men at all now.
So you in
What
the mental
happened.
health field, what's the solution? You can't put your hands on them, and you really can't talk to them too tough, right?
No,
So what's the solution?
I just told you we get when the man got to be back to take back the community. Like we got to let the Western society got to let black people take back their culture.
Uh,
Whether we got to do it by arms, whether we got to do it with physicality, we gonna have to do it by arms. Black men can take over their community instantly.
but you're speaking of a collective issue. We have kids in
You asked me for a
so
solution. You said,
yeah,
"But
I'm
personally."
asking because what how you gonna do this? We have social service. How you gonna how what are
No,
what
no,
are
no,
what
no, no,
are
no. This is what I'm saying. You're
Yes,
proving my
please.
point because they're putting things in position so we can't control each other. So it's the woman's incentivized to break a family. The kids are incentivized to be LGBT and not be a man and a woman and not like themselves. If we take over, which is they're going to be very difficult, that's the only solution is the men taking back over their families, their women, and their children. But right now, they're not allowing that. All this, our disposition was created. They making sure we're divided.
So Ali, you are an exception. You are an an exceptional man, right?
Hmm.
So what if there are men out here that don't want that responsibility? Let's address that
So,
issue.
so this is
Because
what I
we
want.
have kids that's in foster care, we have kids that's in DSS, we have
Hmm.
kids that's just tied down by the system that has parents that don't want them. Who's going to take care of these kids? These are
Hmm.
the ones I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the ones in your household or from a split parent. I'm
So,
talking about the mass
so,
majority that's tied up in the system since
so
we have to
again,
lead a march.
when I worked in mental health, black men would walk in the buildings and the kids would automatically acclimate to the black men they never met before. The children treat black men like gods. Even if the women resent the men and don't want to listen to the men, the kids look at black men as gods and they resonate with the men. Even then when you look at pop culture, when you look at the artists, we'll get the artists together. We'll get their favorite artists to come through. Because a lot of them artists are intentional. They're making music because of what they grew up with. But a lot of these artists want to make a change. They want something different and they want to be better people. So we just all have to get collectively with different messages and with our culture and come together. We can do it.
I would just, I'll yield. I'll say I disagree, respectfully, but I still respect you. But I just disagree. I work in mental health, and kids are throwing feces and urine at staff members, and
Hmm.
the behavior is beyond monstrous that I've
Hmm.
seen in the BLK community, and I feel like it's no hope. And I
You know what
land.
I bet? You know what I bet ain't in their facilities? Men. They don't need meds. They need men, and they need men to be able to operate as men. But what they do is cripple the man and the woman. They make it so you can't say nothing to them, and you end up being a babysitter. So you can disagree, but there's nothing that we're implementing on our people that is of our people. So it's not gonna work because it's Western philosophy.
That's correct. It's a non-stop cycle. It's designed to never work out. They set it up to a point where so many laws have been put in place to where kids have choice and the parent has no choice, because if you choose your choice, there are consequences for doing the right thing. So you're correct,
Right.
Brother Ali. It's designed for us to fail and it to fail completely. There's a lot of love on both sides, and I don't really like when people want to throw and say, "Hey, the man don't want to take care of the kid." Well, it's women too. We don't want to get into that argument because we have laws in place now where a woman right now can get up and in certain cities go to the fire department, put that baby in a box, press a button, and give up full responsibility and has no obligation to that baby. But the man can't sit there and babysit and do the same thing that that woman does. He will be in jail. He will be incarcerated. His license will be stricken from him, the whole 9 yards. So how does the woman have more power and choice to give up the baby than the man?
I don't see it. We trying to pull some of y'all up. You got to try to help us. This stuff be crazy. Okay,
The
we
Can
only
got.
I ask the man a
solution
question on the panel?
that I
Can I ask
have
a question
is
to the men?
to
Hey, Miss Butterfly, we trying to get. Okay,
Hey,
sorry,
how you
y'all.
doing, host?
We trying to get
No,
something.
take your time. I just
No,
had a
no, no, no.
question
Come
about
on,
this.
you can go. Mel, I can't. I'm through up here. I can't see no.
So, quick question, right?
We do what we can while we can.
Because I hear a lot of people talk about the single mother aspect, and can you guys hear me okay? Because
Yeah,
I'm
we
not in the
fine.
best
Come on.
area of reception in my
You're
house.
good. You can be heard.
Okay, sister, you there? Butterfly, you in the matrix? Hey, sister. Butterfly.
I'm here, host. Can you hear
We
We
me?
trying to.
can hear you. Go ahead.
Hold on.
We can't hear you, sister. You going in and out.
Okay.
Hello,
Oh no,
sister.
I'm making it work. 1 second.
Hello.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you hear me better, host? I'm trying to get to a better area.
So we can't hear you, sister.
Okay.
I can
So
hear
my
her just
question
fine.
was for the men. Thank you. My question for the men was, we talk about the single mothers and, the men need to be in the home. Relationships fail, right? It doesn't mean that parenting has to. So my question is that do we think, because a young lady in the comments, she agreed before I even actually made my point. But yes, I think that the generation of millennial dads are much better than some of the fathers that might have raised the men that
Hmm.
are the millennials, right? Um, so my question is, do you think that men make an excuse to be less of fathers when they're no longer in the home?
Yes.
Some do. I
Men?
agree.
The
I
man
agree.
though, I
Some.
thought she asked
I
the man.
did. I did. I mean, I would have asked the women too, but I really wanted the opinion of the men first.
The CDC reports that 58% of BLK men live with their children, and 72% of BLK women men are involved with their kids more than any other race. And on top of that, the people who did the report, most of it was the BLK women. So BLK women are reporting that BLK men are living with their kids and involved with their kids. And I can almost probably speak for the men that's on this panel. The men that we see are involved with their children. But the thing that I keep saying again is this: if the woman is supporting the man and she's supporting him being a father, that woman is not going to have no problems outside of environmental influences that may be caused on your kid. If we have the full support of the woman, you have a full man in the household. If our woman is trying to take our kid left when we trying to go right, you've already compromised our child. That's why a lot of times back then they say the kids that were had out of wedlock was a woman's child. It wasn't a man's child because the woman's already taken them in a whole different direction.
I agree to to an extent with you, Ali, but I've also seen, and I'm sure the ladies on the panel can attest because we're friends with more women than you are. I
Hmm.
think that the ladies on the panel can also attest that we've all seen situations where the relationship looks great on the inside, on the outside looking in, right? And
Hmm.
everything, seems hunky dory. The couple starts to experience problems for whatever reason, they break up. And then
Hmm.
all of a sudden, whether the woman is the problem or not, in some instances, and I can speak as a personal on my own because I got married young and neither one of us were ready to be each other's spouse. I can admit to that,
Hmm.
but what happened was essentially he was all about me and the child up until the point where I wanted to leave. And that was because he was a womanizer, right? So I chose to leave because of that, because I feel like in order for me to be the best mother that I can, I have to pour into myself.
I
So I
was
didn't want to stay in an unhappy situation just for my child, right?
so
So I
right,
was
right.
very,
What
let
you
me
just
just
said was complete.
land. Hmm?
Okay. What you
I
just said was
was
complete. Oh, go
what
ahead.
I
I'm
just
sorry. You
said
said
was
you're gonna land.
completely what? Yeah, well, but you can
Oh,
interject if
oh,
something stood out.
you just said you prioritize your child, but when you saw your man was a womanizer, you focused on yourself instead of still and focusing on the man. Like
Because
no
that's
matter
what
what.
men
No,
fail
no,
to
no, no.
believe.
Let
Women
me
have
finish.
mothers have to be happy to
No,
be
no.
happy
Let
mothers
me.
to their child.
So it's
Men
funny
don't
when you
understand
focus.
that.
It's funny when you focus on yourself. You ruin the community and you ruin the family. You
Oh
ruin your
my
kids. You ruin.
I
God.
didn't say I
Oh
focused on
my
myself. I
God.
never used those
Are we
words.
gonna have a
Literally.
civil
I
conversation? Or
never
we gonna do
used
the
those
motion?
words. Somebody
I'm getting
else is
hold on.
interjecting.
Someone's
That's not me.
right, but I
Somebody
didn't
else is
even land. But I
interjecting.
remember you asked. Are you want to land or you want me to land?
No, I want to have the conversation with you, but I heard interjection. But I just
Is
want to
my
correct you because
is our
you're paraphrasing me with words that I didn't use. I'm very particular about my word choice and words matter. I never said that I left the marriage to focus on myself. You put those words in my mouth. I
no? You
said
said to focus on
specifically,
me, ma'am. You
I
said to
didn't say
focus
to
on me.
focus on me. Listen,
Yes, you
listen, I'll
did.
say it
Yes,
Yes,
again.
you
you
did,
Listen, I'll
did.
ma'am.
say it
Yes, you
again. I didn't
did.
say to focus on me. I said he was a womanizer and I left the marriage because I was no longer happy, right?
What?
That's two different,
No,
those are
you didn't,
two
ma'am.
different.
You didn't say that. You didn't
Yes,
You
say
I
that,
did.
said
ma'am.
that. You
I'm
You
not
said
said
that.
happy
you didn't
living
say you
with a
were no longer
cheater.
happy.
It
Let them
doesn't
teach.
matter.
Let them
I'm
teach.
not
Let them
Okay.
happy
teach. We
living
want to
with
hear
a
them
cheater.
talk. Them
Let
teach.
me finish. Like I said, I'm never, for my kids or for any other reason, going to set aside my standards as a woman. Because in order for me to be the best mother to the son and the daughter that I am raising, I have to pour into myself first. Mothers who are out here depressed and
Did it
raising
again.
kids aren't doing anything,
She said
any
it
favors
again.
Mm-hmm.
for their children. I'll say it again and again and
You
again
said
because
you
you're not
didn't
a
say it
mother.
though. You
You're
said
not
you
a
didn't say
mother.
it. You just said it
I
again.
Mm-hmm.
still didn't use the term
Can I
for,
interject?
like
Now
I
you gotta
said,
let.
you're
Can I
not a
interject?
mother.
We're gonna let you speak in 2 seconds. We're gonna let them go have a dialogue. Then we'll
If
give
you're
it to
not a
them
mother, you
if you
can't
haven't had a
tell me
chance.
what a mother needs, sir. Okay? So like I just said, no, I'm not. I'm not.
You
But
Y'all
when
are.
like
I
to tell
say,
y'all
but
like to
when I
tell
say,
women
what's
that they can't tell men how to be men. You can't
Because
tell a mother
you're
how to
not a
be a
man.
mother.
Because
all
it's
right,
not your job to be a leader.
And
You're
you're
not
not
the
a
man.
mother. And you're not a mother. Case in point. Thank
But
you.
Yeah, one
no,
at
no,
a
you
time.
can't.
Same
One at a
applies for
time. One
you.
at a time, y'all.
Same applies for you, right?
She
Okay.
triggered.
Can I
Same
pull this
applies for
combo
you. You
back
can't have a
some?
double standard. You can't tell me that I can't tell you how to be a man, but you can tell me how to be a mother.
Thank
Is it my is
you.
it
Come
is it my
on.
Ali.
That
job?
sounds stupid.
See,
That's
Oh my
see,
God.
ignorance.
now
I'm
see,
not
babe,
Oh
let
my
triggered. I'm
God.
me
calling out your ignorance. I'm
let me
not
know.
triggered at
So you
all.
now you
My
triggered. You
house and
still
my home
going.
is
You're
good,
not letting me
baby.
respond. You're not letting me
You
respond.
can't have a
You I
double
could tell
standard,
you
sir.
already unhinged, ma'am. You can't
You
control
can't
yourself.
unhinge. That's cute.
You're
Like
still going. You're still. I haven't even got to respond. Is a man supposed to tell you what to do, or you supposed to tell him what to do?
So, can I ask a question to you,
And are you gonna
Ali?
talk over the question, Jordan?
No,
Or
I'm
we gonna have a
asking
good?
you a
So
question
are we
because she
having? No,
muted
no, no.
herself,
Why
so I
you?
thought
No,
she
no.
was done.
Why you asking? But Jordan, am I supposed to tell you what to do? You supposed to tell me what to do?
I didn't mute myself. Someone muted me. Y'all love to say somebody's triggered when they don't
I,
agree. I think that's so cute.
ma'am, you. And you know what? Let me know when y'all want to answer the question.
Hey,
My
let's not
life is
focus on the
lovely.
comments. Let's just focus on the panel. I'm not muting people, but we have other moderators, so they want one at a time to talk to be respectful. So everybody can hear you. Because if you on in the comments and listening, you can't hear everybody scream over each other respectfully.
Jordan was trying to interject. I don't like the double standard, so I'm done with the conversation on his end. Jordan, were you trying to interject?
Are you trying to run the panel? So you know
Excuse
what?
He
me?
is a
You're
That's
actually.
moderator.
not how
He
it
is
Oh,
a
you know
I
what's
don't
moderator
have
funny?
to
too.
You know
try to.
what's
I don't.
funny?
I don't try
You
to
just
do
lied.
anything, sir.
You just lied.
I'm sorry.
You just lied.
Host, who do you want to
What am
speak?
I? How do you
Host,
know if I'm
who do you
lying
want to
when you
So
have
you
speak
no
say you
next?
don't
context
believe.
of my life?
You say you don't believe in double standards. But if you're gonna let me
Okay.
substantiate, I'll tell you how you lied.
I'm triggered, but you're telling me I lied and you have no context of my life to compare anything to say
I'm
it's a
about to
lie?
substantiate how you lied.
Right. Real
Do
cute.
you come from a single parent home, Ali?
Oh,
They
you
already
got
asked me if I came from a two-parent household. I came from a two-parent household when my mother and father been
Exactly.
divorced.
You don't get it, babe.
As did
No, I
I.
do
You
get.
don't
I
get
do
As
get
it.
it.
did
I should
I.
be able to.
You don't
You know
get it.
what's fun? You know what's
I
As
would
did
funny?
like to
I.
answer your
You
Hey,
know
hey,
what's
question.
You
hey,
funny?
don't get
You
it,
know
hey,
what's
bro.
funny?
hey,
The
time
people who
out,
come from
time out, time out. What I'm gonna say is because I don't appreciate having to come up here to maintain order with adults. Allow for the conversations to happen. If two people are going back and forth, allow for the conversation to happen. The only person that should be interjecting is the host. If he allows for the back and forth, allow it. If you guys start over talking each other, I'm gonna mute you. Let's have respect. If you want to engage, allow for the conversation. Now I'm gonna get back down because I don't have nothing to say and I'm enjoying the dialogue. The audience cannot hear you. Be mindful there's almost 150 people in here. I'm gonna get down. Continue.
Okay, I would like to go back to Ali's question. You said, who is the man supposed to tell the woman what to do, or is the woman supposed to tell the man what to do?
Mhm.
And I want the context on that because nobody is supposed to tell anybody what to do. The man leads and the woman follows.
What?
That's not telling what to do. That's a relationship. Y'all are, it's the man leads. Nobody's telling anybody what to do. We're both adults. So can you explain to me what you mean when you say that?
If I'm the leader, I'm telling you what to do. I'm telling you how to cooperate.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
You're guiding
No,
me.
I'm not guiding you to where.
You're being the leader and you're guiding the house. You're
What you got
guiding
in the
us the
house
right way, but you're
to
not
do what?
telling us what
What's the
to
right
do.
way? What is it, your way or my way?
It's the way that we agree on. Me
No,
and
it's
my
my
husband
no
are going
no.
to agree on something.
It's
And if we don't agree on it, we're going to work out something that's going to
so you're
be
the
the best
leader,
for the family.
right? No, no, you do what's best
No,
for you.
we lead the family.
No,
My
which one
husband
is
leads
it?
the family. I follow my husband and we make
No,
decisions
it's so
together.
yeah,
So do you feel like as a
you see what you're
man,
doing to me? I know you do to
do
your
you,
husband.
wait, don't talk over me. I'm asking the question. Do you
Ma'am,
feel
you're
like as
talking
a
over me.
man,
You ask me a
you
question, you talking over. You did the same thing, butterfly. Y'all ask questions, you talk over me while I'm trying to
Sir,
answer.
I wasn't even done with my
See
statement
if
and you
she still
interrupted.
no.
You
You asked me.
interrupted. The host even told you to let me finish talking.
No,
But go ahead. You got it.
what? The host hadn't
You're
even. They
combative.
had it.
You're
Wait a
combative.
minute.
Go ahead. You're
Oh, see what?
combative. Go
Hey,
ahead.
y'all. They show you.
If I'm triggered, you're combative. So
I'm a
continue
mute
on with
up.
the other young
I'm a
lady.
mute up. Y'all are fighters. Y'all like competing
Can
with
I say
men. You have
something?
V envy. You don't cooperate with men. You're supposed to cooperate
I
with me.
just
You
got
ain't
a
supposed to
question
compete
for
with me
you.
because you can't compete with
You're
me.
not my
You
man. I
exactly?
can't
don't have to
compete with me.
cooperate with you.
Ali, can
Sorry.
I say
See,
something?
I'm not your man.
Can I
It's
say
crazy.
Definitely
So as
something?
not.
cooperating, that we're working together
I just
So I'm
correctly?
getting
yeah, I
You're
jumped
just
now.
have a
incorrect.
Now I'm getting
question.
jumped.
I just have a question.
I just have a question, Ali.
Imagine
Go
me
ahead,
always
You
be
CJ.
said
cooperation.
you said you said that men are supposed to you tell us what to do. As you
Mm-hmm.
said, if you're supposed to tell us what to do, my main argument with you before that started this whole thing was you said that the responsibility of the community being together was because of the woman. But you tell us what to do, so shouldn't that be your responsibility? Because you're telling me what to do. So I'm
Yeah.
confused.
So I told you before, and you proved it earlier. Do women listen to
Okay.
men? Do women listen to men?
Well, I mean, you supposed to be telling me what to do,
No, no,
so I
not what I
guess.
mean. See what I'm
Hey, time
saying?
out,
Do
time
women?
out.
It's
That's a
crazy.
yes or no question. Do not engage. We do not do this childish back and forth banter, and you cannot respond to a direct question. Okay? That's a yes or no question. Answer it, and then you can add additional context. I cannot believe I have to come up here and babysit.
So I will say yes. And then behind that, I'm going to say if you choose the right man that can lead you properly, you should have no problem listening to him. But if it's the wrong man, I'm not listening to nothing you got to say because you're not leading me properly. But it's
Mm,
still a relationship. So we still have to agree. I might not agree with everything my man said. So we still got to sit down and talk about it. And it got to make sense. I'm
mm.
not just going to listen to everything.
So why y'all always listen to the wrong man then? If you listen to the
Who is
right man,
Oh
y'all?
my
Mo-
god.
most of
Oh my
when we
god.
ask y'all what happened in y'all relationships, he was a liar, he was a cheater, he was abusive. Like y'all never fumbled the
Because,
Can look? Y'all do it to me every
yeah, go
time.
ahead, my bad.
Y'all never fumbled the bag. You never was manipulating a man. You never used a man. It's always he was a cheater. He was a liar. So if y'all got all this intuition, y'all know how to get degrees, you know how to get jobs, you're supposedly the best mother and women's in the world. Why y'all can't pick? Why y'all don't know how to pick good men?
Because men, not even gonna say men, because people in general put on this show when you meet them, and
Mm,
it's you never know how long it takes for the real person to come out. Each person is different, so some people could put on the front for years
mm-mm.
until they get fed up with their situation. It's no longer what they want to do. Then the real colors come out. It's the same thing how people say when you have children, things start being revealed. It's not really that things are revealed. It's red flags that you kind of ignore because you were stuck on the good parts of that person,
See,
and
that's
then things start to show.
See, that's actually y'all projected mentally. That's how you think. Y'all act like y'all are wives and good women when we get y'all, and you get lazy when we put a ring on your finger. Y'all actually try to change a man. Y'all want him to be ambitious. Y'all want him to grow. You hoping he reaches the potential you want him to reach. You don't like the man like that you get initially. You want him to change. Most men get with women hope y'all stay the same. Most women get with men and hope they change. You
Hmm.
never like the
And
guy
I
you
agree.
get
I
with.
can agree.
So then why did you just say the opposite of it then?
No, I said what I said, and I stand on that. But I agree with what you
So how
just
can you
said.
stand? It'd be a contradiction if you stand on what you're saying.
Mm-mm. Hold on.
You said women
Repeat
listen
the
to men.
last
You
thing you
said
said.
women listen to men, right?
Repeat the last thing you said.
Do women try to
I'll read
change?
my
Do
turn.
women try to change a man or accept him for who
Oh,
he
okay.
is?
Okay. So my response to that is
Mhm.
you are correct in saying that we will get with a person and
No, no, man. Can you just answer
women
that part?
very often,
Do women
yes,
accept a
women
man for
very
who he is?
often will
Man,
women will accept a
man.
man for who
Please
he
don't do
is,
that.
but we
I'm
do
asking you
have
a question
okay,
and
Hold
you
you
on,
want me
just
to answer the
Jordan.
question how
interrupt
you
Hold
want
me.
me to
on. Time
answer it.
out. You have
You
to
want me to answer how
answer
you want me to answer.
yes or no and then add additional context. He's literally asking a yes or no. And then you can give additional context.
Do women try to change a man, Jordan?
Come on.
That goes both ways. That's not a yes
I
or
ain't
no
asking about
question.
both
Men do the
ways.
same
I
thing
didn't
with
ask about
women.
bisexuals. Do women try to change men?
I'll say yeah.
Okay, so was he the right man or the wrong man?
So I'm not going to answer that question how you want me to because my answer is neither one of
I'm not
those.
trying to ask you to answer
So
the question the
can
way
I
I want
answer
you
it
to.
without giving one of those answers, or are you
No,
going to
no,
say
no.
that?
If you have to change him, he's not the right man. Matter of fact,
Mm-mm.
you don't even love him.
So can I give my
If you
context on
love
why I'm
somebody,
saying?
you don't,
On
ma'am.
Can I
You're
give my
trying to get no.
context?
You're deflecting.
No, I would like to say what I want to say, and then you can tell me
Okay.
what I'm
Watch
doing.
this. Watch this. Watch how
What you
easy it
want
is.
to
Watch.
say
Oh,
after you answer yes
I
or
already answered
no.
this
no, you
question.
did. Watch
I'm
this.
not
I'm gonna
sure
show
why
you
you
how
want me to
fast.
keep. I
Watch
already
how
answered
fast.
this
Watch how
question.
easy it is when men do it. Hey, B Rad, if you pick the right woman, you got to change her.
No, sir.
Bigger pockets. If you pick the right woman, do you got to change her?
Y'all know, you know the answer to this question.
If you pick the wrong woman, do you have to change her?
Yeah, you
Jordan, I'm
you.
talking. Hey, Jordan, you know how to. I said I was speaking to the men.
we the
Or is it a lot of women want to be the man? That's why they like to speak when men talking. There's a lot of DNB going on because instead of cooperating with a man you can't
Cause
compete with,
y'all, I'm,
you
oh my
and they
god,
go get triggered.
oh
There you
my
go, right there. There you
god,
go. There you go. Hit dogs holler.
oh my god. Like, is
Okay,
it
so
just
can I say
me?
what I wanted
Like,
to
am
say
So
here?
what we're gonna do,
bruh.
since no, calm down. Because what we're gonna
Shit's
do,
crazy.
since nobody wants to have the back and forth, the way he's asking, because he's initiating it. So if he says yes or no, that's what you need to do, and then continue on with context. But since it's getting heated and we can't listen, we're gonna let 22 talk because he's been here and he's been quiet and he hasn't spoke. Go ahead, 22.
Host. Um, I'm not a man, I'm a she. You're fine. Um, Dang, boy, the this conversation has really gotten deep. I was trying to get up here because I was still stuck on like, is it okay for the ex to show up at the family? But I've been holding on for so long, the conversation done went all the way.
sometimes the conversation get extended and
No, no,
it's
no,
a
no, no,
hard thing
no.
we're trying to build. So sometimes it's not gonna always go down smooth. It might go down like Hennessy, or it might go down
I
like that.
I'm not I'm not disputing that. I actually love it. That's just how long I've been on here. But um
Thank
everybody
you for
has
your
good
patience
vibe
too. I
points.
seen you've been moving around.
Everybody
Thank you for your patience.
yeah, yeah. Everybody speaking good valid points. So I wanted to say, like, okay, I want to get from the beginning, then I'm gonna move on because I won't hold anybody up. Is it okay for the ex to show up at your family gatherings? For me, no. But I have had family members to invite some people that I had a relationship with. But I will agree with Ali that when that did happen, like for instance, I had an ex-husband show up. Family members had invited him to a picnic. Um, so he showed up with his new girlfriend. But I'm so player with it, like, I didn't feel no type of way. I actually enjoyed it because what I did was I took her for a little walk. I wanted to get to know her because I already knew that all eyes was going to be on me because here comes the ex-husband with his new girlfriend. Family members had invited him, so they was ready for a show. So what I did was I politely just gave a nice little show. I asked the girlfriends that could we go for a walk? Because if you gonna be with my ex-husband and I have kids by this man, then let's go walk, sweetie, so that I can get to know who you are. And by us walking and talking made him feel a little threat because now he's looking like, well, what's going on here? But in the same token, for me, I didn't mean any harm by it. I just wanted to get to know her and to prove to the family that invited him because they shouldn't have. I just wanted them to see that there could be a mutual relationship with two women because they wanted to see some toxicity and meaning that I wasn't gonna have that. You know, it's just some things that you just gotta peep. You gotta read the room. When certain people show up, it's okay. You just gotta read. You gotta read the room, and I read the room. So I was not going to be the laughing stock. So by me introducing myself and getting to know her, then the next barbecue that we had, he didn't show up. And they had invited him, but he didn't show up because he didn't want us to be okay. See, he came because he thought that it was going to be some toxicity. And Ali, some men are toxic. Some men don't want to lead women. Some men don't understand what a real woman look like if it came smack dead into their face. Okay. And then when a real woman do come and she tries to be this good woman and stand side by this man, if this man has come from a toxic environment, He don't know what a real woman look like. Just like if some real men come to a woman, and if she's come from a toxic environment, then no, she doesn't know what a real man looks like. So when we were speaking with Sabri, the young lady, I understand Sabri where she come from, because evidently everybody's saying that she needs to be quiet so that she can listen, but should have been the other way around. We all should have been quiet so that she could tell her story, because I work in mental health and I learn a lot about a lot of people just by being quiet. So because that I'm older doesn't give me the right to always step my 2 feet into somebody's situation and think that, okay, because I'm older, I have a right to shut somebody down and not allow them to express themselves. And even though I may not like the way that they express it, it's the message that I'm listening to that's going to make a lot of sense to me, so that when I do open up my mouth, then I know how to address the situation. So sometimes it's not how a person says it, it's the message that's coming across. You understand what I'm saying? Because I run a unit, 22 women, young women at that, from the age of 13 to 21. And I have the utmost respect for them. And a lot of them are lost because they don't have a lot of people out here that's caring for them, because the mamas is out trying to be teenagers all over again and forgot where they come from. And then you got a lot of daddies out here that's too busy out selling drugs, doing a whole lot of stuff. It's men and women out here fault, because it's a lot of us that's out here ain't grabbing these young babies the way that we should, because some of us didn't get a teenage life our own self. So what we're doing is we're rekindling being teenagers, when we really should be out grabbing each and every youth by their hand as much as possible to make sure that they okay. Because see, when you come at these kids in a real derogatory, hard manner, just like Proclaim was saying, they shut down. And then they not gonna talk to you, because now you done came with them with this disrespect, and I'm getting ready to tell you about yourself. No, that's not how that works. First, you got to build a rapport with them in order for them to even trust you. First, you got to show them that even if you don't trust them, you got to allow them to trust you before they even begin to even think that they can trust you. You got to build a rapport. You can't just go to people and tell people about themselves. Even if you think that you right and they wrong, you cannot approach people and just start telling people what's wrong with them, because I wouldn't want nobody to approach me telling me what's wrong with me unless you done sat down and had some type of dialogue or conversation with me, because that's not how you do stuff. And we were all teenagers at one time, so we should not forget that we had to learn these lessons. We didn't wake up with a notebook saying that this is how this goes and that goes. Some of us even learned along the way to be better people. You understand what I'm saying? So when you
You
gonna
did
be
that.
dropping,
Oh, go ahead.
excuse
I'm
me?
sorry. I said you did that. Like everything you're saying is spot on. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but you have to get to know people, and to understand the background, because everybody didn't come from a butter foundation. Some people come from an abusive home and all they know is abuse. And when you realize that all this person knows is abuse, then you don't give them the same thing that they come from. You give them the opposite that they don't have. Because if you're gonna show somebody love, you can't show nobody love with the same disrespect that they come from, because that's what they're used to. You need to teach them something different. So that's what I give to some of the young ladies that I work with. I give them a whole bunch of love, and I work with some real disrespectful young ladies. But what I have taught them is I taught them structure. I taught them love, but they also know that when Miss Lisa walk up in this building, I'm not here to play with y'all. Y'all gonna do what y'all need to do, because I'm gonna be tough with you. But it's a time and a place for all of that. And like I tell them, yeah, I'm gonna tell you the truth, but I had to get there and before I could tell them the truth. I had to build that bond with them because some of them walked in, broke down, and hurt. So who am I to go to this broken young person and start rah, 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 rah? No, I have to allow them to heal at a certain level in order to be able to have a breakthrough with them. And then I was able to earn their trust, build a rapport. Then we were able to plan in structure, get them to do certain things, and I still have young ladies that has left the mental facility that still calls me for a little bit of guidance. But every woman out here again, Ali, is is not trying to be masculine. Some women are being put in a position to be masculine because some men aren't standing up to the plate to be the men that they need to be today. So it really can go both ways because we got a lot of brothers that's filling up prison jails like it ain't nobody's business. We got a lot of young boys that's filling up the prison walls like it ain't nobody's business. We got a lot of young women that's acting like men that's going to the prisons because everybody is getting away of humanity. What it really means to for humanity it's love. It's not this rah rah type of stuff. It's not because I can I can come to you and feel like I can speak to you any type of way, so now I have authority over you. No, that's not what that's about you know and there is a lot of women out here that would like to be led if the right man came along and showed that woman, because you can dangle whatever you feel like out of your mouth, but if your actions ain't matching, then no, I don't have you cannot lead me, because you're not getting ready to dangle sweet nothings in my ear and think that that's gonna allow you to lead me. So when you show me that your actions is matching up with your words, then brother, guess what? By all means, you can lead me in the right way that we need to both go. Not just me, the
Okay.
way we both
Okay,
need
22.
to go.
Allow Alice to respond.
Well, she already speaking about the right man. And also when we're discussing the importance of what happened in mental health, and I'm not taking anything what 22 is saying, but it's overpopulated with women. That's why a lot of kids ain't listening, and we're adding more women into their life. We're adding more emotions in their life, and you have to build rapport. You have to build understanding. Me, and when I was in my classrooms, most of my kids listened to me because they just instantly respected me off the gate because of my stature and me being a man. Most of these kids are listening to men based on their stature. They don't have to build a rapport. Now, does it help it that you build a rapport and you're loving and you're understanding? Of course, but most of these kids listen to men because they're men. They don't listen to them because they built the rapport. So the difference between us and you is that when we build a rapport with the kids, the mamas can implement it with love and nurturing when there's men there with the structure, just of respect and go, dang, hey, there's some men in this room. So he said, we got to listen to the sisters in the room and they'll be more open to you communicating. Because I can promise you this, when I'm in the rooms with the female teachers, when I'm in the room with predominantly men, the kids operate completely different with the men than they do operate with the women.
That is true. I'm not taking that away from you. But on the same token, I've worked in a facility with all young women. I've worked in a facility where I ran a unit with all young boys at the juvenile center. So I've had my foot in all different type of pots. And I've also worked at a facility where I've dealt with men and women coming in for substance abuse. So I'm not saying that it's all children, it's people in general, because I've sometimes boys will listen to a woman before they because depending on where that young boy came from, if he had a mother, if he had a father that was always abusing him, then no, if a man tried to step up to him, then he's not going to listen to that man because he might be triggered about that man's whatever he done said, because that it might trigger him back to the things that his father used to say to him if he was in an abusive relationship. So there's been been plenty of times, Ali, that I've had to step in the room as a woman and to catch that young man's attention and to calm him down, because by this man coming in, with this, "Well, I'm a man and you gonna listen to me," he had that was a trigger to him. So as a nurturer, sometimes women are good because we need to come in because we know how to nurture them, calm them down, to get them back into a more calm air space, so that then a man that is not coming in with so much rah rah can be able to speak to him. Like, I'm not disputing what you said. You're absolutely right. But then in some cases, all men cannot always guide young men to get them to do everything that they need to do. Depends on where they come from and their foundation again. Just like all women cannot talk to all young girls, because if you had a mother and she kicked your butt every day, then if that woman came to that young lady, then she was a trigger to her. So then we would have to have a gentleman to come in and speak to her, because I may have been a trigger to her, just depending on where she come from, if she was being abused.
How you're saying about the triggers and stuff. That's not how you.
Hmm.
So I'm not taking anything from what you're saying. If that boy had a triggered, had an issue with being triggered by men, if you're gonna communicate with that boy would have to revert right back to the men and get used to having to have discussions with men. Just like what kids would do in my facilities, they try to go to a different adult, a different adult, a different adult. You're making it seem like you're providing a solution. No disrespect to you, but you're allowing the kid to continue to manipulate when that should be nipped in the bud and addressed properly because he's being triggered by men. So if a kid's having issues with cooperating with women and listening to women, I'm going to make sure with my capabilities, I'm going to enforce the power of the woman and the woman's voice in my classrooms by making sure she can listen. I'm not going to go in there and go, hey, since he listens to me now, I know he's going to listen to women. I'm going to build the relationship that the woman and the kid has with the woman by using my skills to make sure that they have a better understanding of value for women. But what I do see a lot of women do is they don't go come get the men until the women don't the kids don't listen to the women or give the women problems. I've seen so many female teachers say it's the kid fault when they don't listen to the women, but if the women get the kids to listen, they'll take the credit for the kid listening instead of giving the kid credit. You see it all the time. If the kid listen, it's because of me. If the kid don't listen, it's because of him. Even though I had a grandmother who's a principal who said if the kid hasn't learned, the teacher hasn't taught. So the main thing that women are still doing wrong is they think they're supposed to put the bandage on the wound and fix the issue, when the majority of what a lot of women need to do again is to put the value and respect of men back into the kids and teach them how to respect and understand and be cooperative with men after they broke their bond with them, using their feminine energy.
So, Asia, you go next, and then Glenda.
Hey, God, I couldn't even unmic. Yeah, I like this. This is good. This is really good. And 22, oh my gosh, you brought back memories. Um, very positive, very, very positive. I hope they heard what you said. Ali, you got some powerful stuff that's coming out of your mouth. It's all good. It's all good. It really is powerful. But your delivery is a little bit off.
Delivery, right?
Yeah, it's your delivery.
As a man, it's my
Like it.
delivery,
I
right?
like his. I like his delivery.
Man.
What type? What's wrong? What's wrong with his delivery?
Now you're being rude.
I'm sorry.
Oh, she not being rude. Like we don't
No, no,
tell the women
no.
about their delivery. Why we coach
Take it
men on
off,
their
take it off.
delivery?
And you
Was
can
that
have
a joke? Was that a joke,
That's up
Asia?
to you. Well, that's up to you.
No, I
That's
was
up to
asking.
you.
I just want to know what was wrong with his delivery.
me your delivery was fine. It was just your tone, which
You
became
said it's my delivery. Now you said it's my
No,
tone.
it's cool. What's wrong with his tone?
him.
Huh?
I said your delivery was fine. Your tone became aggressive, like you're cutting me off right now.
Oh, he's aggressive. He's aggressive.
I'm not sure if you're looking at the screen or not, but that is the host talking to you.
I was cutting you.
What? I
I
mean,
was
do I
talking.
just sit back after 3 words and just let him go?
Yes, you do.
No,
Yes, you
no, go
do,
ahead.
because
No,
Mm.
this is
no,
his
go ahead. Go ahead.
platform. No, 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 no,
No,
no. Hold
let her
on.
go. Let her go. Let her go.
Let it go, Melanie. Let it go.
I was just asking where he was wrong at, but okay. Come on, sister. We
Okay,
listen.
back to it. Your delivery was good. It was great, but I felt the aggression. Okay, you want to cut in on it? You want to break it down? Or do I finish with the next sentence? Don't make me be aggressive with you. I don't want to go there.
Now, so just make
I'm
your
not.
statement, because I don't like what you're doing, because you're calling him out, and if he responds, you're going to get upset.
I'm
So, Pat, what we're trying to
complimenting.
tell you is that wasn't him. That was me talking. So,
I'm complimenting him, Melanie.
okay, okay.
But how was
Compliment.
I aggressive? Or how was he aggressive?
When
Somebody was
you
aggressive, but we don't know who it was.
when you were talking to the girls on the panel, you were hit
Mm-hmm.
for hit, hit for hit, hit for hit. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
talking right this second right now. I mean, I've been on here for just a few minutes and I came in on that. It was just boom, 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 boom. Now, if you missed that while you were entertaining that, I'm sorry. To
Mm-hmm.
me, it was aggressive.
You would you have ever told your grandfather that?
What?
Would you have ever told your grandfather that?
My grandfather?
Yeah, he would have probably smacked you straight to the ground.
You're still being aggressive.
No, I'm not. I'm telling you the truth. Y'all would have never corrected your grandfather, your father's back. Like you don't talk to a man any kind of way and tell a man to watch his delivery. Like why do y'all think y'all can
No,
just say
but I
anything? No,
okay.
man, I'm still.
Listen.
I let
Okay,
you
I'm
you
sorry.
landed,
I'm
man. Let me
sorry.
speak.
I'm sorry.
If you would have spoke to my granddad, if a daughter, boy, anybody would have told, my grandfather would have smacked you straight to the ground for saying something like that. Like you never, like y'all always talking about how a man should deliver a message, how he should speak, and you try to coach men on how they should talk. That's not your job. But if a woman came up here and started coaching a woman how to talk, then y'all get aggressive with each other, and then you'll say it ain't aggressive. That's just women being emotional. But you're not supposed to tell a man how to talk.
Now, can I say something?
Of course you can.
I had a very stern and strong dad. He was a police officer. He worked in Los Angeles, California during the
Hmm.
during the Watts riots, and he spoke with aggression. And sometimes I was able to talk to Daddy and say, "Dad, when you were talking to me, I felt a little afraid, frightened."
Was
And
your dad trying to implement fear in you
probably
for a good reason or bad reason?
to me, it was I was maybe being bad. I don't know. I can't remember, but I remember
You
the
you don't
aggression.
know, you don't remember why.
But I remember the aggression. And
What
this
what
is what 22 was telling you. If she was saying that she worked with the youth as well as adults. And if you can't meet them where they're at, you first have to
Mhm.
become soft with them so that they can trust you. So they can
Man,
so you
man,
can
man,
have
do you know you talking? I was in mental
no,
health myself for 15 years, man.
just
Why are you coaching me on that? I was in mental I'm gonna do this for y'all. I'm gonna come on bigger pot. I'm gonna go get my files to show you the grades that my kids had in my classroom and their performances in my classroom, that when they left my classroom, they ended up going to even the stage 4 higher learning because of the teachers they went to. They couldn't handle those kids, like change. Like they when once they I separated from the kids because I moved like a father. I never even referred to my kids as clients. Those was my kids. But you know what they say? They go, "Why you listen to Mr. Ali?" Because Mr. Ali love us, but Mr. Ali don't play. The women have to play with them. You have to build a rapport. You have to have a different type of relationship that I have, where kids are looking for father figures. They're looking for kids looking for structure. And when women realize they're looking for structure too, they'll be better. But kids want structure. They want somebody to be an enforcer.
Just speak. She hasn't spoken yet.
Hi. So, thank you for having me up, host. It's been a minute. I know a lot of women are probably going to jump down my throat when I say this, but we want men to be leaders, but we don't allow them to be. We don't allow them to do what it is that they were created to do. We want to dictate how they talk. what their tone should sound like. That is not our job. They are men. They know what they are supposed to do. And let me just reiterate, men, not boys, men know what their roles are. And as women, and this is somebody that has a failed marriage because of my ignorance, because of my lack of knowledge and what it means to let a man be a man and lead. We need to be quiet sometimes. And what I've learned, and I have 3 adult children now, we there's the nurturing factor that is ingrained in us women. Men have a way of loving. It is different from us and how we do it, but that does not mean that they love children or the community any less. They have a different way of doing things. That's why they are men and we are women. But at the end of the day, as women, we need to sit back and let them do their job. That's all.
And that's powerful. The women develop, help kids develop, men help adults develop. That's our difference. You're supposed to be the nurturer. You're supposed to be the loving. You're supposed to be the understanding. You're supposed to want to implement the father's order. But once they get into a certain age, we're supposed to help them to become adults. We're the boundaries. We're the foundation. We're the enforcer. We're the one that we tell them what they need to hear. You tell them what makes them feel good. And we want you to be that way. We're balancing that way. We want you to make our kid feel like they can possibly do anything and be successful, but the fathers put the foundation and boundaries after it. Hey, you can't cross that line. You can't cross your mama. You can't disrespect people. This is how you create healthy relationships. This is, you have to meet this timeline. We set the boundaries for the kids and we help kids develop into adults.
Let King speak and then Jordan.
Yeah, like I ain't seen nothing wrong with what the man was saying because he was actually like,
He ain't had no. He just been up here holding it
yeah,
down.
like
All
I was
he
over here like, yeah,
ain't
man,
saying
you saying
nothing.
the
He
truth though, like
gonna be down on his own doing it. Ali can handle himself.
and like,
I don't got to
man,
jump
I
in and
just
do nothing.
like
Somebody got, hey, hold on real quick, King. Somebody said, bro, got all these opinions and no kids. Hey, Melanin, do you always hear my kids with me in the background?
Got a wife. Clock that.
Ali, they ain't.
No. I'm just making sure they know I got a woman and
I
kids.
ain't talking
Like
about
I take
nothing.
care, and I take care of other people, kids, and I help
Good.
other people, women and men. I care about. Matter of fact, the reason why I speak is because I had a phenomenal mama. My mama was about order. My mama would tell me to be a man. My mama would tell the women to sit down, stop being fast. You doing too much. My mama didn't play about women and men not being men and women. But the mother is you know what? Even when we say the men are the enforcers, when you have the backing of woman, it's a nation, it's a whole community because you are the first teacher and the first voice that kid hears. You are so important and essential. We may be supporting and protecting, but your voice puts the stamp on it. You know what? Mama said we should do what daddy said because that's the right thing to do. Instead of, you know what? Mama said we ain't got to listen to a damn thing that daddy says. We ain't got to listen to order. We ain't got to have no foundation. We can do whatever we want to do. And that's what creates the first identity issues with children when they see mama trying to be daddy and make daddy seem like he the mama.
yeah. You see, is that the thing is right when you come correct and you speak with respect, they take that for weakness, and then when you treat it like shit like a little shorty from the corner store, now they want to start crying, and it's like which one is it? Because you ain't gonna you could get the thug or you gonna get the gentleman. Which one is it? Because it's like yo, I don't get it. Like I ain't the brother over here. Like I treat you the way you gonna treat me now. You gonna disrespect me? Oh yes, ma'am. I'm gonna disrespect the fuck out you. So the choice is yours. Like I don't get it. Like yeah. Y'all remember that scene from Baby Boy when he over here typing his head? Like yo, like what y'all want? Like I don't get it. Like like there's women in the comments over here being rude to the man. You see, and like I don't get y'all.
He good. He holding it down. Nobody don't really want no smoke with the brother. Brother go so cold
Like,
I want to smoke with the brother.
huh?
I don't get it.
I won't smoke with
Oh,
Ali.
oh, come on, yeah,
Yeah, I want to smoke with Ali
come
because
on.
I don't like his ideology and how he degrades women and make them feel undervalued, and he feel like
Okay,
he
I
have to
know
have
she
this
bro, you
authoritarian
like trolls.
disposition.
We can
person.
handle
I
our
know
trolls.
she's
Come
trolling.
on.
You know she trolling. You
No,
know
I'm
she
not
trolling.
trolling.
Man.
I'm being so serious.
Rolling.
You know what? You know
I'm getting a little
your
emotional because the
porcelain.
way
You know
he's
what's
speaking,
funny?
Holmes, is triggering me. Like he's so
See,
mean.
You know
you
what's
know,
funny? Who love
You
you
know?
more, a man?
I'm going to
Who love you
smoke
that's
with
more?
a
I'm gonna
shame
tell
you
Ali.
you.
coming up here at 1 o'clock in the morning
Hey,
like
come
this.
bring. Hey, come bring the.
No, I'm
Because
just
y'all.
saying
I'm telling you.
he's very,
That's a shame you doing
I
that.
was in a
But
hard
But if
relationship
I
and
was
his
Saucy
tone.
Santana, y'all support me though.
I leave.
I love the ladies, man. I love the kids,
Ali,
man.
who is that?
Like,
Ali,
hey,
who is that? Wait, hold
That's
on.
a
Who is
twinkle
Ali
toes.
Santana?
That's a twinkle
Hey man,
toes host.
they love the rainbow. They love the rainbows. But you know what's funny? When they get mad, they'll
Ali
call him out.
wrong. Ali wrong. Who is
The
Saucy
bigger
Santana?
podcast. When they get mad, they
they want
know
the
the
funny
truth,
bunny.
man. They know they'll call the gay dude a
Ah,
FAGGOT. They'll call they woman friend a 304. They'll call the suckers simps. They know
oh
who the
yeah,
real men
that's a
are.
fact.
They will pick the betas over the
That's a
alphas
fact.
because they want to be the alphas.
Man, but they sure as hell love that dog nasty motherfucker though too.
Because the only person that love you is the one who tell you the truth and get you to be true, whether you woman, man or woman. If I'm telling a sister close her legs versus open them up, hey sister, do whatever you want to do. You ain't gotta listen to these brothers. You can have smecks every week if you want to, every day. Versus, hey sister, you should close your legs and have more value about yourself. Improve yourself as a quality of woman. I'm the one who trying to control her. When you want to do something that helps benefit women and to love women and to have women to respect themselves, because I don't respect them disrespecting themselves. They call it controlling.
Like I grew up, like respecting my dad and all the old school men because they actually love their women. You see what I'm saying? They went to church. Like they did the best that they could. So I tried to be like my dad. And it's like, I don't get it, man. Like if you be a gentleman, they take you for something. It's like, come on, man. Like I see a lot of single women in the making, man.
In the making,
Man,
that's the whole.
I ain't even gonna lie, shit. Y'all single
Hey,
for a reason,
hold
baby.
on. They
Shit, I'm
say they
at
pick
work.
the
Like,
they
if I wasn't
they
at
pick
work,
the
shit, I'd
right
be booed
man.
up right now. Little mama. So, whoever want to talk bad about me, shit, I put my lady picture on the shit. I don't give a fuck.
Porcelain. If I'm such a bad man, why you love me?
First,
I ain't seen it.
when you were speaking positive about people, I love what you were saying, but now
Okay,
it's like you're
so tell
chanting
me what.
fire down
So
at
tell me
us.
what I
Like
said that was negative and that ain't helping women improve. Tell me what's negative about what I said.
it's just how you talk to us in your
Oh, it's
tone. I
how I
don't like
say
your
it. It's my
tone.
tone.
It's your
It's my.
tone.
So, do you think the current state of our society is something that should be taken serious, or I should, hey, ain't nothing, man. We ain't got our families getting destroyed. We got broken families, men and women ain't together. Is that something that should be taken serious
Brother
with
Ali, you
passion?
have compassion fatigue,
I ask you a question
respectfully.
because y'all don't push back on Ace Metaphor. Y'all don't push back on Derek Jackson. Y'all don't push back
Baby,
on
you
tonight's
need to say
conversation.
use words like
Y'all don't
damn,
push back
baby.
on this
Come on,
on
sugar.
panderers and men who be simping that be talking passionately. Why y'all always get upset with the man who hold women and men accountable that speak passionately and want the community unified?
Porcelain, yeah, you want him to talk to you? Come on, baby, man. Come on, sugar.
I
Things
just
like
feel
that.
like he shouldn't chant fire down on us as if we cannot have room to make mistakes.
You, you
Ali's been up here just dogging us out, dogging all
how
of
am I
us
dog?
out.
He
Yo,
wrong,
how?
man.
Let
I
me.
feel like
No, no, no.
He's been
that.
dogging
Yo,
all
am I
of us
delivering?
out.
Acting up here at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Order in the court. Order in the court.
Okay.
Okay.
Like I'm
Ron.
just playing, but
I don't
Ali,
want no problems. I don't want no problems.
I'm just joking. But Ali, I really do respect everything that you say in the tone that you say it because, like you said, it's very a serious situation out here with these the baby mama epidemic and the YNs are out here running loose, and somebody has to chant fire down.
Is
Somebody has to
yeah.
come down their street and hold them accountable because
Is
everybody is
love,
left unchecked. And I
right?
know with the way that you say stuff, we all had that strict teacher. It didn't
But
feel
it's
good.
love. If y'all were around me in real life, we barbecuing, y'all be like,
Right.
dang, this a good dude. It's
Right.
love. That's a
Right.
loving man. I'm about code and ethics 24/7 when you're around
Facts.
me. All you ever gonna hear me say is stuff with substance. I can't speak about nothing else. So there
Facts.
would be women that I encounter be like, is that all you talk about? Is the world and life? And like, what kind of women are you? You want to always talk about fun. You always want to talk about some entertainment. You want to talk about something sexual. I'm trying to help you help us say the world. You want to have smecks. So I could get smecks all day long. Brother Ali can get it going on all day long. But I want to bring men and women together. And the only way we're gonna come together if the woman knows her value and she's being pure love. But you gotta be order.
Facts. We almost at 100K, y'all. You know we love the chat. We appreciate the people. Keep tapping. We almost there. Ron, what would you like to say? Because it's getting late and I like my host to get his rest. So let's go.
Hey, much love though, man. Y'all keep it up, man. And I love what y'all doing because every day, man, we're learning to love one another more. You see what I'm saying? Like I like the positivity in this stream. That's why I always pop in. I check it out. And it's like, man, ain't nothing but love, man. Y'all keep on doing y'all thing, man. Let me go ahead and slide downstairs so Boss Lady could get up here.
Ron, you been patient. You there, brother? You want to speak?
Yeah, yeah, I'm still there.
Okay.
Can Ron, your connection. You got a bad connection.
Man, the man been waiting all day. His phone ain't right. Let's just try to. We'll try to work with him.
Boss lady, if you in the
Can you
chat, you made a comment and say you would never eat Ali food, and you
She already
sound
ate enough.
a
She
little
already ate enough.
bitter,
She
and
don't
I
need to
want
be
you to
eating
be
off
able to
no
come up here
plates.
and express yourself because we want to be able to hear you out, boss lady. You don't have to, hide behind the comments. We can have open
Yeah, yeah.
dialogue.
She
I'm
she
willing to
she
drop for you to come up.
she need to miss a couple meals. She already ate enough. She ain't got to eat off my plate. She need to miss a couple meals.
Can Ron come
You there,
back?
Ron?
Yeah, yeah, I'm
Okay,
Come
here.
go
on,
ahead,
Ron.
sir.
Your phone went in the matrix, but come on, brother.
I'm gonna make it short. I just feel like we just need to know who we are, as
Hey,
men
my
and
brother, you
women
sound like you
individually.
sound like you in the Underground Railroad, my brother.
Yeah. We can work. We work with you, brother. You there?
But yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He in the back. He must. He probably at work or something. We can't.
Just get me later. Get me later.
Man, you
He
been
freeing the
there waiting,
slaves
brother.
right
We
now.
trying to hear you.
He
Go
taking
ahead,
us out
Tonya.
to the promised land.
Okay, so what I want to say is this. I heard a lot of comments about where women should be and men should be. First and foremost, my grandfather was born in 1899. He was a child in slavery. My grandmother was a Seminole Indian, half black, coming out of Georgia. Very strong woman. My grandfather was the most respected man because he never raised his voice. He spoke to all his children and grandchildren about having a voice and speaking their mind and being able to stand up behind what they say. He taught us how to cook. Not our grandmother, though she was a bomb ass cook. He taught us how to cook. She taught us how to clean. A woman is a woman if she has a man that she trusts and loves, and he shows it. Not his aggression, not him over talking her or she over talking him. When God said, I will give the man a helpmate, he didn't say a slave. He didn't say someone to make you feel like a man. If you're not already a man, she can't make you one, and vice versa. So if you get along, you'll go along. A woman will be submissive to a man she trusts. And if she's been in other relationships where her trust was taken, if you understand that from the door, you know you got some work to do. If you're not willing to do the work, don't bring her in. Don't play with her, just don't deal with her. According to this,
What?
the can an ex come to a family event if he's coming to bring drama? No. If he's coming to be part of the family because these are his kids, come on, let's eat together, let's have some fun, let's get beyond the drama. But if you're coming for drama or messiness, no, keep your ass at home.
No bigger podcast. There's so many sisters that like to come up here and say things about the old generation, what their grandmother and grandfather did. Granddaddy would have knocked mama out, his wife out if she.
No, my
Let me
grandfather
fin. Let me
never put a
finish. Let me
hand
fin. Let
on
me
He's
my
let me
talking.
let
grandmother.
me
He's
finish.
talking. Don't
Let me
do
finish.
that.
Y'all be capping because you don't know it. When you say stuff, my father or my grandfather too. I agree with you. Didn't have to raise their voice because they'll probably delete somebody and take them out this earth, and we all knew it. The reason why men are raising their voice today is because y'all crippled men and they can't get you to listen to nothing. They ain't got no enforcement ways. Those men back then would make you listen. And if you didn't listen, you were gonna get hurt back then. But y'all want y'all granddaddies on Monday, but on Friday you say he was oppressive towards grandma. Y'all pick and choose when granddaddy was taking care of grandma and when he was oppressing grandma. But I promise you this: if your granddaddy was a quiet man, it's because he already had the respect of everybody that he'd tear everybody up if they made him get to a place like that.
Thank you to the chat. We hit the 100K. We appreciate you guys.
Ooh, yay.
If you would like to respond, please do so, and then we're going to give Ron a moment. Ron.
Hear me better? Okay. Yeah, I was just saying, just to sum it up, it's important that we find out who we are as people. A lot of times, who we're raised by influences how we act in relationships, and then we demand things. I feel like, personally, if a man puts his hand on a woman, he's not a man. Men have self control, real men have self control. If you have self control and you don't have to think about putting your hands on somebody for them to obey you, that's what makes you a man. When we have that self control to lead without, you know, having to strong arm people or having to force them into our way, real men get things done from their words also. So I
Should you
just think
should
that.
you should you spank kids?
Yeah, time and place for everything.
If a man is violating society and violating the women, men, and children, should he get hands put on him?
Said if he's violating a man's woman,
If a man is violating other men, violating women and children, should he get hands put on him?
so time and place for everything.
No, no, brothers. Now you see the type of answer you giving. Do you see how
It's the
you
same.
you said kids should get spanked, and then I asked you if men are
Mhm.
violating men, women, and children, should they get hands put on them?
Me personally, I would say yes.
So
But see,
why
that's
is it
that's
that
the
women?
time
So
and place.
why is
You
it if
feel me?
women are destroying families and they're tarnishing legacies and they hurting everyone that there's not a time when they should get hands put on them?
Hands put on them by who? Men.
Men too, yeah, men. Why would it be? Why would I want to endanger a woman and put herself in? The reason why men would enforce is because you ain't just gonna buck back at a man. So why if we know that men
Okay.
can put hands on them, children should get hands put on them. They're the only ones that got no consequence. That's why they out of control. But
So
back
what's the
then they had
context?
no,
What's the
no,
context of you
no, I
putting?
gave, no, I gave you the context, my brother. Man shouldn't just be putting his hands on no woman and no man or no children. But if people are violating humanity and they're doing something that's extremely detrimental to society, they should have hands put on them.
They should be handled with authority. They should be handled by the law.
No, they should put hands on them, right? Can the whole law put hands on them?
Like police officers. I mean, they do what they
Have you
want.
ever watched Cops?
Yep.
Did the cops come in there when they saw women doing stuff and go, "Hey, ma'am, please stop," or did they put hands on them?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't
Yes,
seen
you
it
did.
before,
Yes, you
so I
do.
don't
That's
know.
why you're not answering. Oh man, you seen it, brother. Come on. Like I'm telling y'all,
No,
until
I'm
we're
not. I'm not
ready,
saying that.
I'm gonna
I'm
tell you
not saying
again,
that if a
until
woman
there
charges at you and threatens
can't
your life,
nobody, we just don't again,
that situation.
if again, there's a time to put hands on anybody. If you're destroying society, if you're doing something that's dysfunctional to society and order and it's tearing up our families and nation, there's a time for anybody to get put hands on them.
Okay, so I have an instance. Then there was a situation where a guy body slammed a woman to the point where money came out of her pocket. You think that was justified for him to do that?
No, he should have got if he slammed her just to get money out of her, he should have been he should have been
No,
stopped.
no,
What?
he didn't slam her to get money. He slammed her so hard money came out of her pockets. Is what I'm saying.
Why did he slam her?
Because she was resisting arrest, but she's a woman still at the end of the day. He had to body slam her unconscious.
Oh, a cop body slammed her?
Yeah,
Oh, great job, cop.
that's a shame.
No, she should have
But I
followed the law.
mean,
She
this is
should
the world we're
and I'm
in.
gonna tell you, this, Ron.
It's a lot of people in the comments is coming
I,
at you, Ali. So
they can go at me. I don't believe in police brutality and police uh, uh, doing misusing their authority, especially on us because of what's been happening in our history, but anybody. But if you are not obeying the law and they're in the right and you're not listening, you getting body slammed.
Hmm. Okay. So
That's
it's
all.
justified then
So
pretty
you know,
much what you're saying.
I'm not justifying police brutality. I'm not justifying what they do to
But you
people.
said thank you, cop though.
No, no,
You
I
said
did
good
because that
job.
was in the context. Because I want to make sure you don't think I'm somebody who's advocating for cops to be use a brutality or aggression when they should when it's not warranted. I'm talking about blatantly. This person is aggressive. They're resisting arrest and they did something wrongfully. So, for instance, if a woman stabbed somebody in your family and she's resisting arrest, you want him to be nice and say, "Man, please put the knife down," or
No,
do you
I'm gonna
want her to
expect
get
somebody
picked
to
up?
put
Oh,
her
now
in
I'm asking
handcuffs.
you, do
You
you,
want my
do
honest
you
answer?
if she's resisting and they can't get in the handcuffs, would you want that lady who stabbed one of your family members to get body slammed?
I say
Absolutely.
taser. There's ways to do
Huh?
it.
No, no, no.
I would
See
say
what? Hey,
taser.
Ron, you just beating around the bush, my brother.
Yes,
If
No,
you
you
I'm
have.
being
stab,
honest. See, I
if a
gave you an answer
woman's
you don't like.
no,
I'm being
because you
honest.
not because this is the
You can't
problem
speak
with
for every
society.
man.
Yeah,
That's
Ron
why
is dangerous.
that's why certain men are leaders because we're ready to. That's why a lot of women don't even like female bosses, my brother. Women can't make certain decisions where certain men make decisions. We already prepared for the decision. We know what should happen when it should happen. We're not going to
Right.
foot the. We're not going to play around. We ain't going to beat around the bush.
But this is my statement. If I choose to say taser that woman who is trying to threaten my family's life, whatever the case is, right? Because I
Mhm.
could say, oh, do this instead to her, but it's not going to solve anything. So if the
Mhm.
purpose of it is to make sure that she's locked up and they tase her and they are able to arrest her, what difference would it have made
Because
if I would have been
you're deflecting. If a
I'm
female stab one of
deflecting?
your, well, I'm about to tell you how. If a female stab one of your family members, is somebody justified a body slammer?
Yes, sir.
They say jab, TikTok friendly language.
Both
A
shoulders.
jab. Ron, if somebody stabbed a family member, a
Jab,
woman stabbed a family jab,
jab.
jab. If a female jabbed one a female of person in your family, is it justified if they got body slammed?
If it ends up
Shoulders
happening,
adjusted.
yeah. Would I want that person to get
Okay,
body
that's so
slammed? No.
Come on, man. Ron's
but why
calm.
keep doing that, man? Oh my
My,
God.
my thing is this. My thing is this. You're asking me questions and you're saying what I should do in
No,
this
no,
scenario.
brother, you
Hold on,
doing
hold
a
on. Let me
straw
finish. Let
man.
me finish. Let me finish.
All
Let
right,
me
go
finish.
ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother. Get it
So
out.
here's a situation where my aunt lost her son to someone who pew-pewed him and forgave him and said, "I love you." Is that wrong or is it
No,
right to
no,
It's
forgive?
anecdotal.
you see what you're doing, brother.
You said it's
But
justified, though,
I'm gonna
right?
answer your question like a man because I'm not gonna deflect since you asked that. But that's deflection, right?
Sure, sure,
If
sure,
someone
sure. You
choose
get
to
it. Sure.
forgive somebody for what they did, man, I think it could be very honorable, right? And they have every right to do that. But we weren't talking about that. We were talking about somebody getting jabbed, and it was justified for them to get body slammed.
So, like I said earlier, it's a time and place for everything. If they choose the body slammer,
Then you agree
I'm
with me.
saying personally, I wouldn't go about it. That's what I'm saying. So
But
I can
No.
speak for
but
me. You know what I'm
that's fine.
saying?
But why are we talking
Because
about
I've
if you
been in
wouldn't do it or not?
situations where you had to forgive somebody or you do something back to that person because they did something to
Well,
you.
when we need somebody to get body slammed, we will not be calling you.
Hey, that's fine. I'm over here taking care of my wife and family. I ain't got to worry about body
When it's
slamming.
time to press the
Yeah,
button for the
right.
body
Self is
slam, we
self.
will not be
Someone
calling
I'm
you, my
taking care of
brother.
my wife and family,
I'm
but
gonna
want
let
the rest of us to do it.
I want to let song for you take us on home because that's that 1 o'clock mark. It's been
Yes, sir.
about 7 pieces. So
Right. It's not the same situation, Miss Cat.
I can play. Listen, I got three daughters. If
So do I.
I got a submissive, feminine wife. I got three daughters, and I told them if there are mean women that are out there hurting, harming people, Daddy will put the foot in the back.
That,
Listen,
that's right.
injustice and justice has nothing to do with gender. And when you don't hold somebody accountable because of their gender, you make monsters. 76% of child AB cases in our community are done by their own mothers.
Yep.
71% of
Right.
unaliving of babies right now, no, stop talking, are done by their own mothers.
No, because you're not gonna make it seem like I didn't say
No, bro,
earlier.
hold
This
on.
is a
Why you
time-and-place
cut?
thing.
Why you cutting them
He
off,
I
asked
said
me
brother?
to
it's a
finish.
time.
He asked me to finish. Take your pandering, but be quiet. Because the
That's my
rest of the
point.
families are suffering by the millions because we got these guys selfishly talking about I'm gonna
Ain't
be
it
over here
crazy,
with
man?
my wife and children, calling
Right
themselves leaders
place.
and ignore the rest of the community. 90% of all the homeless in America ran from the home of their own mothers.
That means
Mm.
it's a bunch of weak, soft jokers who didn't care about the rest of the
We need
community holding
Jesus.
these women accountable and the way the
Hey man,
Bible
let him say
calls
these
us to.
stats, man.
And so, huh?
I'm trying to get you to read these stats. I don't know why, brother. Why you is he? What is he saying that's not informative, Ron? Why you cutting him off? What is he saying that's bothering you so much?
Okay, so me saying that it's a time and place
81%,
for
81,
everything.
the
How
Supreme
is that
Court has
bothering you?
ruled that 81% of the TROs or restraining orders, whatever, have proven to be false. The person wasn't in town. Their lives are adjusted forever because folks, and then now the Supreme Court is having to rule and have a meeting on as their fines because there's so many weak men out there that didn't hold them accountable. And so now we got all these soft, kind, beautiful women that are scared to speak up because we let all these monstrous females run around here and harm our community, our babies and our children. And then they saying if it bothers somebody over there, I'm gonna be over here with my family. Listen, I agree with him completely. You can whatever the gender is, if you act in monstrous, you need to be held accountable.
Yep,
Feminism has said everybody needs to be held accountable, but females. Well,
yep.
guess who suffers? Little females, older females, the elderly. Some of the females right now are doing the most monstrous stuff to everybody around them, falsely
It's
accusing the
sad,
men,
man.
torturing the babies and the elders. They have the highest number of harming them, and we talking about with they females. No, they not. You're a monster and a hyena, and we need to separate you from feminine women that's making every effort to respect their husbands, respect their families, to be kind, to dress with dignity. The average female right now in America at 23 got more bodies on her than a 53-year-old woman. It is we are making zombies and monsters, and we got weak Ahab men on the side, like Second Chronicles talks about, that are so weak they letting these women like Jezebel going out doing this monstrous stuff. So let me walk you through how God responded to it. Jezebel was so monstrous that they kicked her off the second floor. And after they kicked her off the second floor, the Bible says that God himself made sure that the horses trampled over her. And it said when he didn't finish, he made sure that the dogs finished off her face. So that's how God responds to a woman that's harming a bunch of people. Lot's wife, he said, don't nobody turn around. He just turned her into salt. God is not trying to pander. If he says something is wrong, it's wrong. If he says something is evil, it's evil. And so these new guys come up and say, but how did she do her evil? But what level was the evil? Listen, for all of us to have safety and kindness and just life, standards must be standards. So I completely agree with Ali. The numbers are getting out of hand, and it's showing what happens when weak men so-called lead us. When hardcore men got to come up for the safety of everybody else. Then we get these guys talking about, but what level was her evil? I'm gonna just be over here with my wife and man, get out of here.
All right, so I heard you finish. Now let me say this. Let me
And
say this.
he should drop the mic right
Hold on,
there.
hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me say this. I'll let you finish everything.
Trying to
Now,
see.
earlier I did say in the conversation there is a time and a place for everything. That is not me saying that, oh, this way is wrong off the rip. I didn't never say that at all. So going forward, I completely agree because that's also what the Bible says. It's a time and
Going
a place
forward,
literally for everything. Hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. So, like I said before, going forward, there's a time and place for everything, also, as the Bible says, and also God tells us to give us grace as well as being merciful and loving.
never.
So you can hold on, I'm not done. So you can receive that same mercy and grace. So what my thing is this: if I choose, because the thing is this, I don't just keep it all within the grounds of taking care of just my family and not caring about nobody else. That is so far from the truth. I was saying, as far as a situation goes, that is what I would do.
No,
Now,
he
as
answered
far
you. No,
as
no, 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 no. He gave
I'm
you
not done.
very specific. No, stop it. 89% of
No, I'm
workplace
not done.
complaints.
I'm not done.
89% of
You're
workplace
talking to another
complaints are
man.
women
So hold
complaining
on,
about
hold on,
women.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. You're talking to another man, right?
Whatever.
So
I'm
hold
scared of
on,
you.
hold
No,
on.
he
You want
has
the
a
same
timer
respect,
up.
Nothing
right?
about your manhood.
He
You
has a
want the same
timer up,
respect, right?
friend.
No, stay out of it personally. Let the man
Okay.
handle
Because yeah, what I'm saying is, as somebody who is currently married to the same woman for 10 years and three girls, also, I'm doing something right. So what I'm saying is
No.
this: as far as the instruction is, the Bible also says the goal of instruction is love. So when
What?
you apply it the
No, it
right
doesn't.
way, it actually
Let him
does.
finish, song. Let him finish,
It
song. You can
actually
go to
does.
next.
But like I said, I would encourage you to read a little bit more. and apply everything that you do with
I'm on a
love. You
religious
just got to
debate
know how to
team.
do
Come
it. It
on,
don't
man.
make you
Keep going. Let's
soft,
go.
man.
You should admit your second time's up. So first of all, you guys pick and choose. There's 30,000 verses in the scriptures, and you guys be picking and choosing what you want to hear. Most of the time, out of context. Thomas Aquinas said very few people ever learn anything new. They just switch around their prejudices. You guys come up here, you lose slightest stats to justify sick behavior. You use one scripture out of context to justify sick behavior and act like you're speaking for God or life or statistics. It's incorrect. You guys don't have a non-biased way of living, and it's dangerous for all of us. 89% of workplace complaints are women complaining about women. 60% of DV cases among the lesbians, lesbians, alphabet women, have the highest percentage of mutilation from their own women. There is a culture right now, in particular in the Black BLK community, of some of the most abusive women on record. 70% of IPV cases, intimate partner violence, where the other person didn't retaliate. You hit them with an iron. You cut them. You did abdom. You did something weird. 70% of the cases in the police records in the nation are done by women. We are in an epidemic for the babies and the men around us. Well, with this nasty, sick movement, it's cool. Feminism is 4 times worse than racism. Because racism, you picked a target outside of you. Feminism picked its own intimate people. It picked its own children and its husband as the target. Margaret Sanger said the target in feminism is our own children and our husbands, and it is marriage at large. Susan B. Anthony said we must erode marriage. So that means for the first time, this demonic sick thing decided to take the people you eat across the table from and torment them. And these weak-minded females that have enjoyed this goofy ideology, the superstars is the women who say, I want nothing to do with the demonic ideology, and the men who stand up against it. And so you guys who condom, pander, and act like it's a little bit, we could throw a little Kool-Aid in this. If it's 2 drops of iodine, that's enough to kill 6 bulls. And somebody said, well, would you drink anything out of that cup? And well, if you put a little Kool-Aid and a little bit of, it's 2 drops. But if you listen, feminism is a monster. And let me tell you, from 1927 to 1967, when the federal government told BLK people, we will have nothing to do with you, our women were so feminine, it was extraordinary. We became per capita the most successful, powerful group when the government walked away from us. After that, Lyndon B. Johnson said, we got to get the government back in the houses of these BLKs. All of a sudden, we started looking at these YT sick government assistants. We don't need it. Everybody who uses it falls at bottom. And now part of their nasty agenda was feminism. Our women walk with the men. Nobody could stop us. And now we got the men attacking the men and the children. And you guys, he asked very specific questions. Oh, man, he asked very specific questions. That if they're harming the community, and these hyenas below in the comments, somehow they're going after Ali. Who gives a rat's behind who these monsters are going after? If they ain't walking with God, they're enemies with God. We keep trying to pander like it's a cool time in history. If they're doing something that's harming our community, they gotta go. Heaven got gates for a reason. There's a heaven and a hell for a reason. Everybody ain't coming, and this ain't a group activity. Every man got to stand alone for themselves and whether they do is right and what is wrong. And you guys want to talk cool and slick, you're going to be held accountable to it. It's not okay. If you got 3, I got 3 daughters. I train them. Ain't nobody dating in my house. We're courting. I train my daughters to be feminine wives. You don't think I'm going to stomp everything around them, every hardcore, weird little girl that tries to bother them or harm them and working to be a lady and respect their fathers and not having all of these bodies and have to deal with criminalism with all these DNAs in them from different men. And I'm dealing with pair bonding issues where they can't connect because they got so many bodies before they 20 and they hold themselves off and wait. And you want to clown my daughters and bother them and they scared to go to the mall. They scared to, man, I wear size 15. I'm bringing them out on everybody. So I don't know who you talking about. This doesn't protect the host. It doesn't protect Ali. It doesn't protect Porcelain and these people that are trying to be noble people of God. It's enough. Ahab's got to go. All y'all weak jokers, y'all got to get out the way and let the men lead.
Okay, so I gave you a little bit more time because you came in late, but we are going to be respectful of the host and his time unless he wants to continue. So this was great, but it's late.
We're gonna end it right there, man. And I'll be back tomorrow. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you, brothers, for coming in, being men and just dealing with whatever pushback you may have got, man. You know, it ain't easy to win. So, you know, sometimes people gotta be willing to go through what they gotta go through to win. Brother Ali, you already know what it is, Mr.
Love to you, my brother.
I appreciate
Much
y'all,
love to
man.
you,
Good
Song,
night,
man.
host. Song,
Appreciate
I love you. Thank you for coming over. I'm
Melanie
always share the
Porcelain, much love to
live
you.
forever.
And you too,
Good
my
My
night,
number
brother.
one
everyone. Thank
follower.
I
you.
appreciate y'all. I'll be back tomorrow at 5:30. Hopefully, I'll be for sure at 9:30. But we got some new stuff we working on. So, song for you, brother. I know you be moving around. You come in when you get ready, and brother, I don't know what the brother left, but okay, I tap in with everybody, man. Love. Okay, ladies. Thank you, ladies, for a good job of moderating.
You're
I need
welcome. We got your back.
I needed
Thank
y'all.
you, host.
Get some good
Bye.
rest.
All right, y'all get some rest. All
You
right.
too. Bye, y'all in the chat.
I can't even get this thing. How you? I be having a time over here. Mel, you good?
I'm having a great time. You get some sleep.
I'm good.
Masters lying to the public, they ain't got the truth in them. Lights out, gas off, bootless, this city pimping. Blocks on fire cause the homeowners broke as fuck. Taxes up, water bill higher than a semi truck. It's a bigger play, a bigger play.